Hello and welcome to another community build. This might be perhaps the last one for this version of the game because we are getting a huge patch possibly at the end of next week or the week after. The reason I'm saying this is that a lot of the buildings or the designs may have to change depending on how the actual end results come in from the patch. But in any case, we're going to look at some amazing bases. None of these I have seen before, so we're just going to jump in raw and see what they're like. Should be a mixture of some very complicated to some more simple earlier designs. And all the ones we're looking at have been emailed to me or sent on Discord, so appreciate it. Let's get into it. So this first one is from Xseno, and I think he's called it Kronos, or it's a Kronos killer, but look at this, very nicely symmetrical, a pretty gnarly base. We're just getting a nice spin around, and it's definitely got a really nice sort of layered approach, but only 2 or 3, maybe 4 layers at most. But let's have a closer look. So coming in at 1.5 mil, pretty standard build. It's a very nice symmetrical, and it's looking like a pretty nice straightforward build with everything sort of on top with definitely a layered approach. I love that he's got the 406 is sitting right on the top there. Only issue is everything's quite low to the ground. Maybe it needs to be built up a bit higher, but he's got the classic build of engine room being full of batteries and some very reasonable amount of material storage. This could actually be a really reasonable base for everyone to import. If they do have the premium edition, this could be great because it sort of covers all the bases. But you can see it's a really nicely formulated base. It has a very nice internal conveyor belt system that stretches all the way around on what is it, the second, third level, and that is very, very nice and efficient. So it goes pretty much all the way around, and it's got does it ever connect? So it's 2 separate systems by the looks of it. Doesn't look like it actually connects. It would be cool to see a version where you actually connect the conveyor belt systems. That way there is no wastage. Oh, maybe there is a connection. Nope. Okay, so it is completely separate. It may be more beneficial, particularly in the infinite mode where you get up to some of the later levels, some of the later waves. It may be worth connecting this so you don't get an overflow of any ammo. But at the same time, this is not necessarily a infinite mode build base. This is more looking like a touring base. We're taking out Kronos in your desert and your snowy regions. Very easily be able to tackle desert and snow. Having 6 of the Hellfires and then a ton. Oh no, he's got, wait, was that 6, 7, 8 Hellfires and some nice mechs here at the back. Interesting enough, he's got the turret override facing backwards, but I guess it just looks neat and it's more there just to have a more of a cosmetic appeal or look to it. And it does look like there's a nice, really easy access just in the back here where we would come through and enter the core. Yeah, really nice, easy access. This is sort of his support room, everything you need in there. So nice little base, well designed, definitely packs a punch, very reasonably priced too. So this could definitely be one you could consider importing. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, this next one is from Alec. Let's have a look what this one's going to look like. Oh, okay, so it's got some very, nice. It's got some pretty cool platforms. Quite a bit of an unusual shape here, but we definitely love how it's got like, it's 2 layered. It's very simple in the forms that it's only actually like 3 layers. It's gonna be interesting to see how many batteries and things he's actually been able to stack onto this, because it doesn't look like there's a lot of room to put in all the good stuff. So let's have a look how he's done it. There is a lot on here and it's only 2 levels. So this is kind of interesting. Let's have a look. Okay, so we're going into edit, and this is a much cheaper build than what we're used to seeing. But he's got some really cool designs here that I've never really seen, where he's built like a little balcony overlooking the 406, and in the new patch you'll be able to put a chair right here and just watch, or even you could put the turret override command there and fire everything. But I really like how open and simple this design is. But you got to admire these kind of platforms on the flanks here with the twin barrel, the 106. Pumping 4 of those is going to be pretty epic, and it's all connected to some kind of belt system, which looks like it's isolated onto each side. We'll just get a look here, see if we can find it. Yeah, so just a very simple system because it's only feeding the 406 and a couple of the Sea-Wiz. But we do have another conveyor belt that does feed around in a good old square, so that's nice and efficient. But this would be a great base to import in your early desert mode. Kind of got everything you need. Definitely packs a punch. Got 4 Hellfires, quite a few of the Type 30 Sea-Wiz. But what's interesting is like he's got a power of 4,000, which is very reasonable, I guess, because he doesn't have that many components that are going to subtract off his actual power. That's probably how he's getting around it. But let's just have a quick look to see if we can see an engine room of any kind. He's just used the pillars, and he's only got some generators, and then on the back here he's also got some batteries. Yeah, he's got the advanced batteries, and then he's got his material storage. So it's actually very nicely compact here, just in the back for the most part, which is much more of a different approach, which I really like. So he's packed everything into the back, back up a couple stories and then just done a very simple 2-layer design. Very slick, very easy to get around in, and he's even got some stairs, and the core tower is very nicely easy accessible. So this is a beaut base. He's even got some drones in the back there. We'll see if he has a support room, which might be down here. If we have a look, if we go on to here, just get a bit of an idea of how he's laid this all out. So quite an open space on the second level here. Pretty neat. I like to see these kind of bases, and it just reminds me of, you know, the earlier stages of how things sort of come together. It's really good to see. It does look like his support room is basically just this on the top here. He's got tons of healing grenades, lots of little ammo boxes here and there. He's got his it's called dismantler here, which for some reason it's airing out. Let's have a look. No, it's fine, just needed to be reattached. So yeah, his support room is definitely just pretty much just this area here. Really nice build. He's got missile silos. He's been able to squeeze a couple little mechs. It's actually quite a fantastic little base. A lot of attention to detail here. Slowly been built over time. This is a cool one that would be definitely worth importing. So I'll chuck in the code for you. This could be a great option for your early to mid desert. Good thing about a base like this is that it'd be very cheap to run on material. It's not going to take a lot. So a very, very efficient and quite a small build. So very nice. Let's move on. This next build is from Fissiccisst, and he has here we go. Okay, so it's a build that's very much in a work in progress by the looks of it, and you can definitely tell it's a very legit build, probably just approaching your mid desert or your early desert. And he's got a bit of everything here. He's got a nice little platform with some mechs, which is great to see, and a nice little very unusual pillar build here. It's going to be interesting to see the core on this base, see how he's fitted his batteries and generators. I do love the idea of having the pillars. I'm really interested in to do a build like that where you have your first couple layers perhaps extended or built up just using pillars. But you can see it's quite well defended. It's got plenty of barriers, panels. He's even got some of the good old bottom MG turrets, but it does look pretty damn mean at the front here. You got to say good because it deviates from, you know, the very straight to much more of a curvy sort of geometry, and really nice little platforms built up here. We'll just dive down and have a look at this layers of the base. So he has a very, very nice empty room by the looks of it down here, which is still a work in progress, but this is his support room and the good old days of having ammo makers, right? So you can see this is very much a legit build that you get as you go through the stages of the game. Really nice to see, and very easy access to the core. He's got everything you could possibly want. Now, most of these ammo feeders are going to be manual, so this is pretty much a manually operated base, bar these guys here that are attached to the autoloader that will pick up the ammo. So it's a bit manual, bit automatic. So nice to see here. He will get the conveyor belts very soon, I'm sure, based off this build. So it will be interesting to see how he progresses and how this changes, but he's got a ton of the 105s, which definitely compensates for not having the 406, so this is definitely going to get the job done. He's got the advanced guard fabricators at the front, very nice. You can definitely tell this is very much a touring base. Quick access to your guardians is key and definitely very, very helpful. Lots and lots of drones as well, so really nice little base. Let's go see if we can see his engine room here, which is very, very nice as well. So he's got a very classic style build with the battery packs and a mixture of the early game and then late game battery packs. But one wonders how and where has he packed all his generators. So if we go one down, there's nothing under there. Okay, so where is, okay, so he's got all his generators squeezed in these nice little areas here all around the base by the looks of it. So quite a nice little compact engine room that is definitely going to expand, which may mean that he might have to bring everything up another level. But a pretty neat little base, got everything you need. It might be a base we can come back to and see how it's progressed later on, but well done. Let's keep going. Okay, this next one is from Knight. Yes, we got here, bro, and this is called the Vindicator, and this is a base he has done himself. And wow, let's look at this. This looks like a little bit of a beast. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8 hellfires on the top here, and a very nice sort of cascading and brutal look, and really, really nice. Well, look at the sides here, some crazy looking oh, he's got a mech bay as well. Very nice to see. Hell yeah, this is a really cool base. There's lots of little details here and lots of little things placed in random spots, so you can definitely tell a lot of time would have been taken into this build. Let's have a closer look. So the first thing that I really like to see is that his 406 mils are nice and high. He's got quite a bit of clearance here on these hellfires, being like maybe 4 stories up. A lot of really nice to see these triangles everywhere. These can be really handy to also grapple hook to, especially bases that are like very high, like multi-storied, 5, 6, 7 stories. You definitely want triangles hanging on the side so you can hook shot to them, or at least have have some sort of platform to potentially jump to. But you can see he's used the MG turrets to chuck on there just to fit in a bit of extra damage. But I really like this. It's a big mix of just as you're entering into your like late end game, where you still have a ton of the old school mixed in with all the end game tier stuff that you get. So it's really cool to see a base mix like this. Great to see the clearance. Got some damage multipliers too on all his Hellfires. It's quite a different approach too. So his 406 mils are nested right in the middle, giving them no real opportunity to shoot anywhere but straight. So I wouldn't say this is an end game base or an infinite mode base, but definitely something that is going to see you through everything up until your sort of your infinite mode, your more difficult infinite mode. Once you get up to maybe, I don't know, wave maybe 20 and beyond, that might get a bit difficult. But the good thing is he's balanced it out quite nicely with the damage multipliers, which makes up for not having so many Hellfires. So really nice to see that. Quite a technical build that is probably quite well balanced, because you can see he's not utilized like 10 damage multipliers on all of them, at least from what we can see here. Let's just have a closer look. And that's what you want. You don't really want to put, 10 damage multipliers on a Hellfire just to get extra damage, because it just chews up way too much ammo. But it's a cool little build, because you got like two, you can see like the different sections clearly defined. Like you got the front up here, which you would just run up to, jump on the 406 mils and then straight to the core, or just run up the side ramps, which is exactly what they're there for. And by the looks of it, we can probably guess that at the back here is where he's got all his batteries and crates. Yeah, so he's definitely pumped in everything in this back here, which I really like to do. I think it's a really cool idea where you can sort of build like central columns of your power, your material, your generators. Everything can kind of fit nicely in these different sort of builds, and you can see how he's utilized the space in these different areas, trying to maximize the output. So it's a 1.5 million build, which is very reasonable. Definitely your end game kind of deal. A ton of material crates, very nice core output and power. Like it's quite a nicely balanced base, doing everything you'd possibly need. Now, one question I have is, how is he going to be getting ammo to these 406 mils? Because, oh, here they are. Oh, nice. Okay, so he's tucked that together at the back there. Very, very nice. Now, how many feeders can he get in here? He's just got one, which isn't bad, because I mean the ammo consumption on this wouldn't be too brutal, and it's probably nicely balanced for your most difficult desert mode. Very easily get through that, bar maybe having to manage some of your ammo makers and shell makers, but otherwise it's going to do the job easy and beautifully. Now, we did see some mechs at the back here, so we'll just go have a look if he squeezed him in. Yeah, beautiful. So he's got two mechs here. It's very nicely protected at the back here. I love how he's got the little ramps up to the hangars, and the use of the bottom MGs, it's pretty freaking unreal. You never see this many bottom MGs. Let's have a look at how many he actually has here. So he's got 25 plus 7, so he's got 32 of the bottom MGs, which is pretty wild. I don't think I've seen a base like that yet with that many bottom MGs. We'll just take a quick sneaky peek through here to see what this is sort of, or where his support room is going to be. So perhaps it's down here under everything, but yeah, here it is. So this is his support room and his core. So really nice to see that. Everything really nice and easy and accessible, and definitely a very good touring base. And then you can just shoot through somewhere. Probably, I'm guessing you can just shoot through up here, or is there another door? You could just jump up here, I guess, get to the front. There may be some other doors or something on the side here. If we go around, okay, yeah, you can. I mean, there's plenty of areas you can get, so very accessible. Let's just have a look at his conveyor belt system, if there is one. Okay, so here we have, so it looks like all the conveyor belt systems are pretty much isolated, but he's got a nice little pack of 4 here, and a very, very well used auto loader. Like, look how many towers it's connecting to. So the ammo consumption on this may be a bit rough. I wonder how this would actually go in actual live scenario. He does have a fair few damage boosters too, some connecting to the Sea-Wiz. So the ammo consumption, having 4, I'm guessing will be enough. I'm not sure, but it does seem like it may get a bit stretched, at least in the early stages of infinite mode. But at the same time, I could be completely wrong and it just smashes it. He's got, whoa, he's actually got a lot of damage amplifiers. He's got 81 damage amplifiers on this base. So that is one thing that is kind of crazy, because that is going to consume a lot of ammo. But if we do have a look at his ammo maker, it's only 27. So I'm not sure how this is going to run in principle, but once he gets a few more ammo makers, it's going to be an absolute monster. I do worry about the damage multipliers. It does seem like that could be a potential weak point in this base, but it's one of those things where I'd love to be able to test this. It's just getting all the different components. The only trouble is when you import a base, you can't actually see how it's microed, which is a bit of a shame. Oh yes, we can. He has got it microed here. Okay, so he's got his ammo makers microed to 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's probably how he's managing this all. Interesting enough, he doesn't have any of his shell makers. I guess he'll just turn them on and off. But interesting to see that you can still actually get it's pretty damn cool that you still get the micro setup, or the macro setup, sorry. Micro from strategy games, we'd always just say micro. The macro keys are set up, so cool to see that that's actually carries across. Anyway, we'll move on to another base, but awesome work there, Knight. Cheers, man. The next base is from Smile. This is going to be your mid-game, or maybe very mid to just starting your desert mode, perhaps, as you do have the Hellfire. So yeah, it does look like that's the case. Very, very nice, simple build here, and some unusual sort of little bits and pieces that we can observe here with lots of your C-Wiz and your 30 mils and your 40 mils. Definitely got, there we go, the structural components, 1000, assault components, 67, and a spare ton of modules. Love to see the Guardians up here at front. My guess is that his support room is probably going to be in this sort of tower area near the core, but let's just have a look, because it's only, what, 2 levels here at a 500,000 build. Very much a realistic build, and nice to see he's got his first Hellfire turret. Nothing like getting your first Hellfire. There's so much work, at least previously. I mean, this new patch is going to change it, make it much easier and much more enjoyable in terms of the length of getting all this stuff, but having your first Hellfire is huge. He's got 4 of the 105 mils, so definitely packing a punch here. And he's got a very nicely defended and encased core tower here. So let's have a look inside. Is it going to be anything special like a support room? Let's have a look. So one thing I do note is that he does have these stairs here, which should add some reinforcement to perhaps the generic panel. If we remove that, it doesn't. Okay, so sometimes if you line your stairs up to certain platforms, it will give that reinforcement. But I guess because it's just on the side here, it's purely just aesthetics. But a nice little way to get to your core tower, which does look like you have to enter through the back here. Yeah, so it does look like there's one entry point only. Nothing wrong with that. That is awesome. And you could open the windows and just jump in as well. It's cool. You do have to love how you have these sort of command center builds where you can sort of see your whole base and everything. Really nice to see that. It does have quite a few damage multipliers too. Got 74, so quite a hungry base on ammo. If we dive down, we can see how he's going to manage and balance that out. Just having a quick look at the engine room before that though, he's got a ton of batteries, generators, using that very typical first floor being your engine room, but very nice. And he's got all his all his Disciple modules also nicely stacked there. But let's have a look at his ammo and his auto feeders and see if there is a system. Okay, so they're all isolated, feeding a fair few towers, but he does have the Hellfire getting fed by 2 auto loaders, and this being definitely your early desert, this is going to be perfect. So probably not too bad there. Definitely a lot of damage amplifiers, so you got to wonder. Plenty of round producers though. He does have a shit ton of advanced ammo makers, so he's definitely balanced that out fine. But a really nice little build here. Lots of ammo access as well. Guardians up front, excellent for your tour mode. Let's see if he has any mechs, because that's the only place that's going to lose points, and it doesn't look like there's any mechs at this stage. You can very easily like pop some here at the back possibly. Do love the symmetry of this base. It does look very, very nice with lots of little details like having those stairs on the side there, short stairs everywhere. But yeah, you do have to wonder how many of these stairs are kind of critical to the power supply, like maybe these ones here. Okay, a few little things that could maybe use some redundancies, but again, you probably don't even need to worry about it. He does have a lot of reinforced advanced armored wall with your Aegis panels, so like nothing's really going to get through this. Very, very nice build, very clean, symmetrical, love it, well done. Now this next base I'm particularly excited about. This one is from Skybard and it's called Open Castle. Now this is a build after my own heart because it has so many mechs and some very unusual designs, and you can see straight away this stands out like a sore thumb. It's a very unique base, and it's going to be awesome to take a bit of a closer look at this. It's not overly expensive by the looks of it, but there is a lot of panels and a very nice 3 stories before you even get to the platforms on the sides and the back there. So pretty incredible. Like this looks nuts. I would love to see all 4 of these getting ejected at the same time. We might even be able to do that. Just because it's a smaller base, I probably should have everything. Let's have a quick look, see if I do. He does have, geez, it's always the case, right? There's always something you don't have. Now I probably should Google this myself, but if there is a way where I can purchase the premium edition on the same account, let me know, because that'd be cool, because then I can try get that and then actually check out some of these bases in more detail. But check this out. Now the cool thing is you'd be able to micro these all 4 and they would just shoot out like some kind of crazy anime. Freaking love it. And the use of the platforms means, I don't know I don't know if you'd particularly need even the conveyor belts here. It might just help because maybe there is a bit of a tight gap and a misalignment. So perhaps without the, yeah, okay. So that's definitely why you wouldn't have these here unless you had some issues getting them out of the building. So the reason you'd have these conveyor belts here is something that I've run into quite a lot, is that if your mech bumps into anything, really, it can get stuck. But as soon as it's on the conveyor belt, for whatever reason, it just makes it glide out so much easier. So even though it looks like these would probably rocket off, you can see that they're not exactly aligned with these doorways. And you can clearly see he probably hasn't used any overlapping cheats or methods. We can just have a quick look to see, actually he probably has by the looks of it. Let's just have a quick look. No, okay, yeah, so it's completely legit, and that's the awesome use. And this is probably one of the first builds where I saw the use of conveyor belts. So props to Skyvard for showing me this. I absolutely love how he's got the 4 mechs there. Now popping out again, we can see he's got like a nice little column here of defense. I would be interested to see if there's anything inside this column, anything extra. No, just a ton of extra layers of defense. So quite a potent little build. Is there anything under the ramps? Nothing too much under the ramps. I wonder if you could actually fit anything in there. Is it? No, it's just pure ramps. And then he's got a very pretty much standard engine room, which actually goes up, what is it, 2 different levels. So he's got batteries, 2 layers of batteries, and then probably generators running somewhere along the side here. Let's have a look. Where is his generators? Yeah, maybe, where are his generators? So he's got 190 generators, so not a ton. So they're probably just amongst things here and there. But as we move up, we have plenty of Hellfires. We've got 2 of the 406 mils, 4 Hellfires. We got 4 of the twin barrels, and a ton of extra support from all the other weaponry. So this is a bit of a beast. He's definitely going to get you through everything in desert. But one wonders, with such a weird shape, how is he feeding this base with his auto loaders? You can see the support room just here, which I'm kind of curious how you'd access that. Let's just see if we can find out how he accesses his core. If we come through here, perhaps these some of the sections where, no, okay, so we'd go through here. Yeah, okay, so you jump in through here, and then you got your support room. Got a pretty empty room here. This would be able to get full with some other stuff perhaps, but if we jump up to the next, which would just be some of these stairs, which would take you up to here, and this looks like your support room or the start of it. Yeah, so we got a ammo feeders. We got 1 more level, so we've gone up 1 more level. So here's the access to the core, little generators here and there. Where is that support room though? We could see that before. I just put on the X-ray mode again, and we'll go down, see where it is. So the support room, it's just there. Okay, so yeah, he's on its, what is it, 2nd or 3rd level. So easy, very nice, very accessible too, because you looks like you just jump through the middle there and go up 1 level, and there's your support room, and the core is pretty much nicely tucked away, and you can get into, you can drop things in on this level and on the top here. So in regards to the ammo makers and to his conveyor belt system, it's all just pretty much isolated between the different areas. He's got quite a few autoloaders here, so let's have a look. Okay, he's actually got a system that goes all the way around. What? Nicely done. Okay, cool. So he's got a really good use of his conveyor belt system, doing the typical cube square, and that will feed this very, very nicely. That wraps all the way around, pretty much feeding everything. Now, if the window, I'm interested to see if he's been able to feed this guy, the 105 somehow, because this doesn't look like it's actually connected to anything. Now, can we open the window? Would that work? Nah, okay, so it does look like these aren't connected to the system. So that's one of the downsides. Perhaps you could open that window and then you would actually be able to connect the auto loader. Be interesting to see if we remove it. No, okay. So what would it take to connect it? Yeah, okay, it's just not going to reach. So those would have to be manually loaded. Bit of a shame there, but again, he's got enough of everything else to sort of negate the lack of auto loading the 105s there. But definitely a much more unusual base design. It's really cool to see. You gotta love how people get quite creative with this. This is used, from what I can see, without any look at this. Hold on, look at this small tile. If we delete that, okay, I thought that was going to be the be or end all for that whole power to that level, but it's got multiple redundancies. Good to see. He's got a nuke silo and missile silo, plenty of little stuff here and there. Just one thing before we move on, I love the use of these windows here and there. They are right next to conveyor belts, but I mean, you could potentially be in there, open the windows and be firing, and also being getting sent around the base. So it's pretty cool. The use of windows everywhere here, so lots of sight and vision, and and in particular, a lot of light would come through these windows. So the base would be quite well lit. Just those little features that you forget, because it's something that's on my base, it's very dark in certain areas. So you need lots of light. And this is a very good way to get that light in there without building the little light stands everywhere. Anyway, let's move on. Terrific base. Love it. Let's go. Okay, this next one is from a DeltaXenomorph. Now, he's been progressing through the game quite nicely. And oh, wow, he's got quite a crazy base from the last time I've seen it. He has stepped it up a ton. What the shit? Very nice and symmetrical. He's got plenty of the 406 mils. Lots of mechs on the side here. Very nice base. A lot has gone into this. It's also got a bit of a pillar action here and quite a nice defensive back here. It does resemble some of the other bases we've seen, but it's also very unique at the same time. Let's have a closer look. This is a 1 million build, so definitely your end game desert mode. And you gotta love the use of the auto loaders being perched up on a little platform here just to get the extra reach. Really nice to see. Got the wings of, what is it, wings of freedom? What do they call them? The wings of freedom at the front here. Very nice little light show here. But it looks like what might be some kind of crazy conveyor belt system that goes all the way around. Oh, it does. Oh, very nice. And a really nice little addition here with these ammo makers. So this will give you a nice little boost if you're in a bit of a jam and you need to get extra ammo to some of the auto loaders. So this is very nice to see. Quite an advanced and well-placed tactic. It's a pretty cool addition. It definitely adds some redundancies to your conveyor belt system, but it's very nice. It goes all the way around, so that's very efficient. Pretty gnarly that he's been able to do that, and it's only one conveyor belt wide. It must be very precise and worked out, so there isn't too much overflow onto the sides here. So very nice to see, and it does. It literally goes all the way around. Crazy. So very efficient. Love to see that. Definitely this base has come so far from when I first looked at it. And he's got, what, 6 of the ranges? He's been able to stack us ton of stuff into here. I love how you got a nice little ramp up to the 406, and he's been able to get 4 of them. So that's going to pack a punch. I mean, that's going to really deal with a lot of different scenarios. Definitely all good for your infinite mode. And you can see he's just starting to get his hellfires. So he'll probably be able to switch out a lot of this and change a lot of this front bit as he gets more hellfires. Stick a few more on there. But props to you, Delta. This has come a very nice long way. Let's have a look at his engine room, which is stacked perfectly. Oh, okay. So he does have the armored tiles on the bottom. So just getting in 1 battery, not the 2, but he's been able to squeeze in a lot there, so that's pretty awesome. And he's got all his deciphers here. See if we can find his sort of support room in the base, which my guess it would be somewhere close to here. Yeah, so his support room is right next to his core tower. Very nice to see. Core tower at the back, raised a little bit, quite well protected as well. It does give you very nice access too. It's also got 2 nuke silos, so this is definitely turning out to be a desert stomping base. Very nicely done, Delta. It's come a long way, man, and it's looking really good. I really like the additions of these ammo makers just to help in emergency situations where you need a bit of a boost. Let's have a look to see how he's sort of microed it, if there is any micro at the moment. So he's got 1 his core tower. He's got 2 to his 30 mils, and then 3 to his 30 mils as well. Probably like a different set. We can't see exactly which ones. And he's got 4 to his Sea-Wiz, and then 5 to his Hellfires. And then 7, what is that? 8 as his 406 mils. So very nicely well microed base as well. So very good to see. This is definitely light years ahead of some of your first builds. Really nice to see this progression, and it's a pretty kick-ass base, so well done. So the last base is from ALoserAtHome. Don't know if this one has another name, but let's check this out. So it looks like a bit of a early to mid desert build as he's just starting to get his Hellfires out, but man, he's got a very nice little sort of ramp here at the front with a ton of he's got a ton of these little MGs, and he's got some the Vipers. Oh, tons of mechs though. Whoa, did not expect that. Look at all the mechs. He's got 8 mechs there. Damn, it's a base after my own heart. This is really cool. Look at that. Looks very nice, symmetrical, deadly kind of look to it. But taking a closer look here, this is definitely a very impressive build here. He's got a very good use of his auto loaders here, reaching all the little MGs, and then he's got, this is pretty cool. Like, it's just like a base. It's pretty much just a mech base with some turrets on it. It's crazy to see. Now this is probably all legitly built as well. None of the overlapping has been broken, so this is going to withstand the test of time. And a nice use of the pillars here, absolutely superb. I really love how you have these pillars. What would be cool, or perhaps what some people might like, is like some kind of door that you could put on to add extra armor here that would open when you eject. but I mean, that's kind of crazy talk. It'd be something cool to have though, but a very nice little cascading front part here with a ton of the Viper chain guns and a ton of the MGs. It's so many MGs, man. You don't see many bases with that many MGs, but you can definitely tell this is a base that's just starting to get to the middle desert area with the Hellfires and the 406 there, which is going to deal with Kronos, no worries, as well as the twin barrels. Ton of healing grenades as well, lots of missile silos. Definitely going to pack a punch. Now it'll be interesting to see how he sort of put together his conveyor belt system, because this space in here looks pretty much entirely vacant, so it's very open. But again, being a very particular mech build, which is nice to see, he's got these little platforms sort of walking out so he can prop everything else up. Quite a technical build though. It would have taken a little while to figure all this out just to fit everything in so nicely. He's even got the nice little use of triangles here just to like cut off a little bit of space where he can, just to make it a little neater. Pretty cool to see. You gotta love mech builds like this. Nice easy access, everything open. Where is his support room is what I'm wondering next. You would generally expect it to be kind of close to the core tower here, so just zooming around, seeing if we can find his support room. Maybe it's under here, not certain. Okay, so he's got a ton of ammo makers, lots and lots of ammo makers. So I wonder how much is he manually feeding this base, because he doesn't. Oh, okay, yeah, so he doesn't actually have any. Oh, he does have conveyor belts. Nice. So they're just nicely tucked away here. Kind of interesting. I've never really seen it like this. That's kind of nice. He's just got it raised a little bit so the ammo has no direction to go but up here, so it kind of collect in this area. It's a nice little touch there. I haven't really seen that. Perfectly cut out. Beautiful. It's got quite a lot of ammo makers at 46. That's a ton. Doesn't look like he has any round producers. Look how many machine guns he's got. He's got 96 machine guns on his base. That's freaking awesome. Love to see that. Just as your base slowly transforms into the end game. Got a ton of damage amplifiers, but my question is, how is he feeding this? So he's got the autoloaders at the front here. He's got 2. Where are the shell makers, if there are any? So we've got, I mean, it's only just got the advanced ammo makers. So it looks like he doesn't have shell makers yet by the looks of it, because I've got, yeah, it doesn't look like he's got shell makers. So these 406, so all these artillery is going to be manually fed by the looks of it. Same with all this top is basically all manually fed. I guess that's why and I guess that explains why he's got so many of these ammo makers down the bottom here under protecting, because his base is still in that transfer period between being automated and being manually fed. So a very nice realistic progression, as we can see here. Core tower is very nicely protected as well. Tons of cargo drones. This is an outstanding base. Lots of fun with the mechs, which will pack a devastating blow as well. So I just got one email just before I finished, and it's from Blue Feather Red Cherry. So I wanted to include this, and this looks like what? This looks incredible. Check this out. Look at all these angled wall. Oh, whoa, what the hell? He's got his 406 sort of angled mounted on the side there. This looks insane. It's kind of from his description, he's tried to get like a kind of a battleship design. This looks insane. And apparently that missile silo does work as well. Just looking at his notes, this is incredible. A very unique build here. Some very unusual shapes. It does look like he's definitely used the overriding glitch. So unfortunately, a lot of these bases will become extinct by the next patch. Maybe they'll introduce it back, but I don't suppose so. But look at that. Isn't that the shot? That should probably be the thumbnail. That looks fucking mad. Let's take a closer look at this. This should be worth quite a lot. 1.2 mil. So quite a reasonable, fairly cheap build. Like not cheap, but like not exuberant either. Very reasonable amount of material crate power and core power, but absolutely stunning build here. Now we got to go check out these angled 406s. Now they apparently should work as well. Kind of brutal just having that hanging there, but the only trouble is, how could you feed it? He's got his advanced guardian fabricator there. I wonder if that actually works. Maybe, I definitely say in the new patch this would still work fine, perhaps, because it would just sort of bounce out. I don't know. I'd have to try testing myself. Oh, and is this connected to some kind of conveyor? Oh, it is too, by the looks of it. No, okay. Unfortunately, this is not connected to an autoloader, but for the main purpose of this build, from the looks of it, is just to sort of have a battleship, and it has definitely got the armor to back it up. It is actually a brute covered all the way around in very nice armor. It's an absolutely unique build. Love it. Oh, he's even got some mechs in there. What the hell? That's awesome. Hell yeah, this is really cool and a really huge time-taking base right now. Oh, he's even got the launching ramp. Oh man, that would be sick to see. That is freaking wild. This would launch over his base. Damn, that's cool. Love to see stuff like this. Very, very unique. Just guns everywhere, pointing up, down, left, right. Such a cool design. And he's got lots of in little bits, and he's got some like random silos in these areas here. Just like one brutally detailed hell. This would have taken so long to get all this together. Even though it's only like a relatively cheap build, it's quite a unique build. It does have the use of the exploit, but that's okay. At least from what I can tell, like if we go up to the front here, it looked like it anyway. Could be wrong. Yeah, I mean, that looks like it's breaking the rules, possibly. Yeah, it's going through. Yeah, so it definitely used the overlapping rule, but I mean, that's the only way you can kind of get designs like this. I'm all for it. I hope they kind of do keep it, or maybe we can keep it in the test environment. I don't know, but it's cool how you can get away with breaking some of these rules to create such elaborate designs. This is phenomenal. This is one crazy cool base. It's even got some mine launchers. That's pretty funny, just to sort of fit them there, because not much else you can put there really. Pretty much nothing else you can put there that would actually work. Got some smart mortars. Let's have a look at some of his internals. So he's got his engine room at the bottom, following a pretty standard sort of design with some redundancies built in to support the floor here. So nice to see that as well. Just got little isolated ammo auto loaders, which are sort of tucked in. Very nice reach though here. Jeez, like that is quite good reach considering that there's a panel just sitting right next to it, feeding a lot of different turrets. Really nice to see. Very well designed there. It's getting a lot of reach. It's hitting a lot of the turrets. So very nice there. He does have a little conveyor belt system isolated to wherever his ammo feeders are. So cool to see that. Let's just have a closer look. Yeah, it's pretty much just isolated. Oh no, it does seem to actually go to a couple. So it's feeding not just one or two. Looks like possibly 3 ammo auto loaders. So good. So quite a good use of his conveyor belts there. But what a base. He's got some smart mortars in here. Underground here, he's got a smart mortar here. I wonder if that actually works. Like pretty intricate design just to cut all that out to get a smart mortar. It probably works because they shoot so vertical. It actually would absolutely work. That's nice. He's got some more here too. That's brilliant. Packed in so many different little things here and there. You could spend a lot of time just trying to figure out where everything all is. We'll see where his support room is. So we'll just zoom up. As we do, you can see he's got the nuke silo here. So it's good to know that the nuke would actually work like this because it's technically not blocked. So that's pretty cool. Who would have thought to chuck it on the back like that just to squeeze it on? And technically you could probably jump up here and get into the base as well. Oh yeah, very nice. That's the whole idea, which gets you into the core and you can jump. Oh no, okay. So I don't think you can jump through that from my understanding, but you'd be able to go up the stairs and get to the core, which is just here. He's got some ammo feeding some of the other auto loaders. Oh yeah, okay. So it looks like they're just wondering where all his support stuff is. Okay, so he does have it somewhere because we can see it here. Got a random advanced wall sitting right next to his core tower here. Pretty random. Freaking awesome though. Really freaking love this base. Something very, very different. And I'm sorry if the name wasn't correct. I wasn't sure. I just put it in the translator, but a legend from China has submitted this. So thank you so much. What an epic base. This would be a really cool base just to test out and get those mechs launching. But for a build that is going for a battleship kind of look, it definitely pulls it off. It has got a superb sort of deck, and then you've got your control center up the top here, and everything has got some superb actual, and his Hellfires and all the turrets up here have superb vision, especially the 406 being up there. It's got a really, really nice reach. Just an absolute beast of a base. We keep going on, but we'll try to keep this a bit shorter. Thanks everyone who submitted their bases. If you do get anything out of this, consider liking and subscribing. It goes a long way. Thanks again. Peace.